Have you ever been given everything you have ever wanted, only to find out that it came with a price so high you can't afford to pay for it? That was my life. Everything I had, money, luxury, power, was perfect. But all of that changed one night when I learned that nothing in life is free, not even the love of my own father. My name is Chika. I was born into a family that ruled Enugu, a city filled with riches, power, and people who were too afraid to say no to my father, Chief Okechukwu. He wasn't just a rich man. He was a man who made things happen. He controlled businesses, the government, and even the lives of people who thought they were safe. My life was like a dream. I had private jets, we had big houses, everything I could ever want. But all that luxury, it came with a price I didn't understand. And one day, that price became my responsibility. I was the youngest of 4 children, but I was daddy's favorite. From the time I could walk, he made sure I had everything: designer's clothes, trips to far-off countries, and gifts that made my friends jealous. No one had a life like mine. I was special, I was loved, and I believed I was untouchable. Then, one night, everything changed. Daddy called me into his study. The moment I walked in, I felt the air was different, heavy. He was sitting at his desk, looking more tired than I had ever seen him before. For a second, it looked like he was about to tell me something important, something big. "Chika," he said, his voice soft but serious. "Do you love me?" I was surprised. Of course, I love him. He was my father, the man who gave me everything I had. "Of course, Daddy," I said, my voice calm. "I love you more than anything." He looked at me for a long time. I could see he was thinking about something difficult to say. "And do you love the life I have given you? The luxury, the comfort, the beauty of it all?" I nodded, feeling a strange knot in my stomach. "Yes, Daddy, I am grateful for everything you've done for me." Then he stood up slowly, his face hardened. "Chika," he began, "nothing in this world comes without a price, not even what we have." I didn't understand. "What do you mean, Daddy?" He took a deep breath, looked at me with eyes I didn't recognize. "I am part of a group, a brotherhood. If you will, everything we have, the wealth, the power, the influence, it all comes from them. But they want something in return." My heart skipped a bit. "What do they want, Daddy?" I asked, my voice shaking. "They want you," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "They want me to have a child with my first daughter." The words hit me like a punch in my chest. I couldn't breathe. I stumbled back, my mind racing. "Daddy, what are you talking about? No, now, I can't do that." His eyes were filled with tears, but his voice stayed steady. "Chika, if I refuse, they will kill me. And we will lose everything. Your mother, your siblings, our whole family. We will be poor. You will live without the life you've known. But if you agree, we keep everything. It is your choice. You have 1 month to decide." 1 month? 1 month to make the hardest decision of my life? I couldn't breathe. How could he ask me this? How could he put me in this position? The next few days felt like I was walking through a fog. My father grew weaker. His once strong body seemed to shrink as the weight of what he had said hung over me. Our house, which had always been full of laughter, now felt cold and silent. I stayed in my room, feeling like a prisoner in my own life. Then, one night, I overheard my father talking to someone, a man I had never met before. The conversation was quiet, but I heard enough to understand something terrible was happening. She is hesitating, my father said, his voice filled with fear. She must comply, you, the man said, his voice cold. If she doesn't, the consequences will be irreversible. Irreversible? What did that mean? My mind raced with fear. Who was this man? What power did he have over us? The days passed in a blur. I couldn't think. I couldn't eat. The pressure to make a decision was breaking me. I love my family, but the thought of what was being asked of me, I couldn't shake it. But deep down, I knew one thing. If I didn't do it, I would lose everything. And if I did, I would lose something even more precious. But how could I let him die? The thought twisted inside me like a cruel, endless thorn. I was only 22, yet my own life had been handed to me. Every desire filled, every need met. Luxury was all I knew. Private jets, giant mansions, endless shopping sprees. I had never worried about anything. But now, everything was slipping away. The dream life I knew was fading, and I couldn't bear the thought of losing it all. How could I walk away from everything I have ever had? How could I live like others, the ones who struggle every single day to survive? I have seen them, the people who live on the streets, the ones who fight for their next meal. I have seen their pain, I've seen their battle for survival, and it scares me. Could I really live like them? No, I couldn't though. I never knew what it was to want, to lack. So, how could I even consider giving it all up? The wealth, the comfort, the safety. It felt impossible. I thought about it for days, weeks, and then I made my choice. I couldn't let go. I couldn't lose everything. The first time it happened again, it felt wrong in ways I couldn't even explain. I should have felt disgusted, but I didn't. I felt lost, confused. My father, my hero, the man I loved, was not the same man I had known. He had become a stranger. The love I had for him had twisted, bent into something dark. But I couldn't stop. I couldn't turn away from him. I didn't just wait for him to come to me anymore. No, I sorted him out. Every time I wanted more, my mind screamed at me to stop, to get away. But my heart was betraying me. It wanted him. I needed him in a way I could never explain. The guilt, the shame, drowned out by this strange, powerful need. I couldn't control it anymore. It went on like that month after month, each time darker than the last. I was falling into a trap I had set for myself, and the worst part, I didn't want to escape. Then one night, I discovered I was pregnant. The news hit me like a thunderstorm. It was the last thing I ever expected, and at first I was terrified. But then something else settled in. Something I didn't want to admit. A sense of relief, like the shock had finally shattered the last of my resistance. We came up with a lie, a story to cover the truth. I said it was a boyfriend I had at university, someone who disappeared after I got pregnant. It was easy to believe, easy to say. No one asked questions. No one ever suspected. I told myself the lie often enough that I started believing it too. But deep down, I knew the truth. Kelechi, my son, was born from a twisted bond, a bond no one could ever understand. But even after Kelechi's birth, nothing changed, nothing stopped. Every month, my father came. He came and stayed, and we continued. The pact we had made was unbreakable. He told me I could stop if I wanted. He said he would never force me. But the truth was clear. If I stopped, he would die. Our wealth, our family fortune would disappear. He would die and I would lose everything. The thought of losing him, losing everything we had built, filled me with terror. And so I kept going. I had no choice. Now Kelechi is 5 years. He doesn't know. He thinks his grandfather is just a kind, loving man. He doesn't know what I have done. He doesn't know the price we have paid. He doesn't know that his mother is caught in a nightmare of our own making. But I couldn't do this anymore. No, I can't. I can't do this anymore. I want to break free. I want to fall in love. I want to get married, live a normal life. I don't want to live like this. I can't. But every time I think about stopping, I see my father's face. I hear his voice in my head. He says, it's my choice, but we both know it is not. If I stop, everything ends. I am trapped. Trapped in this web of guilt, fear, and twisted love. I can't escape. I don't know how to. The mansion, once my home, now feels like a cage. The air is thick with tension. I hear whispers in the hall at night. Shadows move on their own. It's like the walls are closing in, suffocating me. And then one night, something happens. Something that changed everything. I found a journal hidden deep in the library, my father's journal. And in it, I discovered something so dark, so terrifying that it shakes me to my core. The pact we made, it had a hidden cost. A price that goes far beyond anything I could have imagined. If I continue, I am not just sacrificing myself, I am condemning my own son, my child, to the same terrible fate. But if I stopped, my father dies, our wealth, our power, the life we have built, it all crumbles. I am trapped, a prisoner of my own choices. Every moment in this mansion feels like a ticking clock, counting down to an inevitable end. The walls are closing in, the whispers are getting louder, the darkness is suffocating. What do I do now? How do I escape this curse without losing everything? How do I free myself without destroying my family? My father says he's doing this for us. He says it is all for our future. But I'm not sure anymore. What if it is all just to keep me trapped in his grip? I need to get out. Where do I go? How do I find a way out? Life lessons. 1. Every choice has consequences. Chika's story teaches us that the decision we make, whether big or small, always comes with its consequences. Whether we are aware of it or not, every action, every choice leads us down a path that shapes our future. It is crucial to think deeply about the potential outcome before making a decision, especially when it involves others and our own well-being. 2. The value of personal integrity and self-worth. At some point, Chika loses herself in the pursuit for wealth and family loyalty. This shows the importance of never compromising our integrity or self-worth for external factors. No matter how powerful or enticing they seem, true success comes from being aligned with our values and staying true to who we are. 3. The dangers of sacrificing too much for the sake of security. Chika's decision to continue the pact, despite its deep moral costs, highlights the dangers of sacrificing our well-being for the sake of security, comfort, or fear of losing everything. Real security and happiness comes from inner peace, self-acceptance, and making choices that align with our principles. 4. The importance of breaking toxic cycles. The story sheds light on the danger of falling into a toxic cycle. Whether it is an unhealthy relationship, a family dynamic, or a life pattern that harms us, it is essential to recognize when something is toxic and take steps to break free, even if it means facing fear and uncertainty. The power to change lies within us. 5. Love does not justify harm. While Chika believes she's acting out of love and loyalty to her father, the story demonstrates that true love never demands harm or sacrifice that destroys our own well-being. Love should be empowering, not destructive. We must learn to set boundaries, protect ourselves, and ensure that love is built on mutual respect and care. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, like the video, subscribe for more, and share with your friends. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. What do you think about Chika's struggle? Do you think she will find a way out, or is she trapped for good? Let me know in the comments. Bye bye.